you doing?
I'm fine, kids. It's me, Johnny Fox, here with another Fox Tales.
Is that
what? Yeah, Fox Tales. You get it? You see what I did there?
I did. I see that. Yeah, I mean,
I usually
have pigtails, but foxtail sounds so much better.
He's good at interwebbing. This week, kids, already here with us. No fucking around. There's no tech gremlins today, I tell you. Right, is the wonderful Claire. So what are you selling us? What are you, singer, actress, astronaut?
No, I am what is known as a stand-up philosopher. Do you know what that is?
Tell us.
Blazing Saddles.
Oh,
it's a bullshit artist. I'm full of shit, and I spout it on the internet because I can. No, the whole thing came about, and this is going to sound like the most pathetic, ridiculous thing ever, but the one thing I always wanted to do was write. And I never did. I did loads of other shit throughout my life that we can talk about that later if you like. But I got fibromyalgia, and I also have bipolar and a couple of other things. So I was on so much medication that my brain was like massively, massively foggy. And I spent about 2-3 years saying, maybe I could do a blog. Maybe I could do a blog. So it got to New Year's Eve, last one, just gone. And I said to my husband, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a blog. And he's like, yeah, no, you really should. So I posted on my Facebook and said, should I do a blog? And everyone was like, yeah, just do it. Which I basically think meant, yeah, we're sick of your shit. Go give it to somebody. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, everybody was like, yes, do it. Seriously, do it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. And then 3 months later, I finally did on the 31st of March. And I thought, right, what I can expect now is maybe 20 or so pity from friends and various other people that I know that I like guilt into following me, but I honestly don't know how. It's just it amazes me, so many awesome people for whatever reason of like, you know, they follow the page, and I've made wonderful friends. I talk to people all day every day, and it really is doing what I wanted it to do and like blowing the cobwebs out of my mind. And because the way I thought about it, I thought, well, if I'm online blogging, it doesn't matter. I don't have any deadlines. I don't owe anyone anything. And if my brain freezes, sod it. It's not like I'm delivering a deadline and if something flops, I just delete it. And I'm really enjoying it. But the only thing I'm finding though is every once in a while I actually like pull something like, you know, out the back of my head, and I do quite a long post, and the people that follow me, like most of them will read through it, but I tend to get the most reacts if I find something that's going on in public affairs, post the meme of it, and then give it a serious rip in one paragraph.
Right.
So apparently that seems to be where the biggest sort of that seems to be where I'm hitting the mark on Facebook. So I'm doing that a lot. So I'm trying to figure out a way of grabbing kind of like a little bit of a greatest hits into like, you know, into like a bookbind album kind of, not anything that's ever going to cost anyone anything, but just like, have you ever seen, you know, like Forest Friends do?
Yeah.
Where the best ones end up on calendars and notebooks. I'm toying with it. It's ridiculous, and it's never going to make me any real money, and it doesn't need to. I said something to my husband, probably about 6 weeks after I started doing What Fresh Hell Is This? And it was that, I know this sounds ridiculous, but for the first time in my life, people I don't know are liking what I'm writing, even if it is just, you know, bullshit off the top of my head. Strangers are telling me that they like it. And what really started making me feel very humbled is when people that I didn't know from Adam have been messaging me saying, please keep doing what you're doing. I'm really enjoying your page. It's one of the few things on the internet that's not doom and gloom, you know, and a lot of my followers are like myself, that are pretty much stuck in the house with various health issues of one type or another. And it's a privilege to have people say that to you. Do you know what I mean? So
no, it is. I was going to bring this up in a different way, but we've got here anyway.
Far away.
I was going to say no, because the internet, right? It gets a bad rep, I think. You know, there's quite a lot of torches and pitchforks out for the internet, or
Yeah.
if not the internet, to zone it into social media,
Well, yeah.
to the point where people are like, oh, we should ban smartphones and other devices altogether for under 16-year-olds and this, that, and the other.
No,
Oh,
I don't think
crazy talk to me.
that.
Yes, some bad shit goes down on the internet. The internet, much like real life, that's populated by real people, some of which aren't so great,
Yeah.
you know, and they are solely responsible for the shit that goes down.
Exactly,
Not the
but the thing,
platform. I mean, I'm not like, you know, saying like Mark Zuckerberg's a saint or anything like that. It's just like, but
oh, I have a
you
word
know,
for
if
him, but it's not
someone,
very thank you.
if I say something ridiculous, it was me. Don't shout at anybody else. Don't try and get anybody else's job taken away. But for every bad shit that happens online to some poor, unfortunate child or anyone of any age,
Yeah.
there's a million other people where it's such a fucking lifeline.
Exactly,
You know,
and the thing about
joy, and it's
sometimes
their way
the
of
take things that people
yeah.
say as well. I mean, I've said things before that I think are completely innocent, and then I've said something that I don't realize is actually deeply offensive to somebody somewhere, and sometimes it actually genuinely is. I just didn't know that. So, you know, in that instance, it's a case of, okay, I take that on board. I'm sorry, I now know something I didn't know yesterday. But sometimes people just look for things to be offended by, you know.
It
But
seems
I
that
think
way.
what we all learned during the pandemic, you know, for the first time ever, absolutely everybody was stuck in the house, just like those of us with chronic illnesses and, you know, even not necessarily illnesses, some people that, you know, live in remote locations or, you know, they work from home. And for the first time, majority of at least the Western world, we were all grounded, you know. And I remember seeing how much the mental health figures for people, at least in Britain, absolutely plummeted. And the amount of people like myself that were saying, well, this is our reality, not much has really changed for us. And what does sadden me a little is people that now the world's up and running again, is a lot of people seem to have forgotten how heavily they relied on our lifelines when they were restricted. And it would be nice if people could be a bit nicer to each other. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, well, I mean that's what you put on the t-shirt. People just need to be a bit nicer to each other.
Well, yeah.
Just generally, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, I mean, there are times, but there again, there are times when people have been incredibly nice to me and like thanked me for
Yeah.
like not having assumptions or certain prejudices.
Yeah.
And I've said, shut the fuck up. You don't thank me for that. That like not being racist should be the default setting, and you don't have to thank
That
me
is
for not. You know what I mean?
the
Like,
amount of grief a person's had in their life. You know, I mean, I actually had a very dear friend of mine say to me yesterday, "You're the safest cis person I've ever known," and I was like, "Well, A, thank you, but B, I'm really sorry." Do you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be that way.
yeah.
Like the nicer people should be in the majority, and if more people learn to just live and let live, the world would be a better place. To be a lot less wars, and you know, don't get me started on that.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy. It seems like we will always find something. It's just human nature. I think, but it seems to be, unfortunately, sadly, all these millennia of evolution, and the one thing that we can't seem to change is
Is ourselves,
making a real,
we're the fucking
yeah,
problem, you know.
a real concerted effort to find something different about the other guy
Just find something else to fight about.
and not like it. If it's not religion, it's social
Unless you're
status.
Irish. If you're Irish, and I know this because my dad is, then what you do is when you meet somebody else, you sit down and you work out exactly where in Ireland they're from in relation to where you're from.
Yeah.
You pull the bus routes together until you work out that you both know Auntie Vera on this street up the hill, and everybody's good because you've now made that connection. The rest of the world, no. And that's why everybody wants to be Irish. It's a nice place, you know. Well,
You know what? A good Irish friend of mine once told me. He said two things Two things. The difference between the English and the Irish.
Yeah,
We work to live. You live to work.
I would agree with that. You see,
Uh,
my mum used to call me a Heinz 57 because I've got a bit of everything in me, right? And predominantly the two are Irish and English, and I've seen that so much. If everybody would just learn to take a bloody joke, like if I stuck a webcam in my Auntie Sadie's house back in the 1990s, and y'all could live stream what went on, you'd think we hated each other. But those are some of the most fun memories in my life, Oh, people take themselves too seriously.
yeah. No, the other one he used to tell me was an Englishman takes his commute to work every day, walks to work every day, and every day walks past the big house on the hill with the big black car, and he looks up at that house and he says, one day I'll live in that house, and he toddles off to work, and it never happens. An Irishman goes to work every day and he sees that big house up on the hill, the big black car, and the Irishman says, one day I'll get that bastard.
Hey, look, you're talking to a woman whose father, when he left the Royal Air Force, decided to celebrate by throwing a metal dustbin lid through the commanding officer's window on his way off base,
Oh, a dream we all have.
Well, that went down
one way
like
or another.
Old sick. He spent a night in the Jankers for that one after he was being released. So, he's a character as that old man. I'm going to write his story someday. His and my mom's, actually, because they're both a bit interesting. But I don't know. Am I rambling about boring shit yet? Because
that's I think that's kind of what we do here anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I do. So you know what we'll do? I do this with everybody. I'll do it with you. So just play a quick little bit of this or that. Yeah, easy money. No prizes because I've got no money because I don't do that. If I ever get any, there will be prizes because I will. If I ever get any, I will just give it away because that's.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot like that.
Oh my, that's why I'm not rich.
Yeah. So we'll start with the boringly obvious same one as I always do. If anybody's bothered to watch this before, cats or dogs?
Can I say both? Because my cat is there and my dog is here, and whichever one I choose, the other one will murder me in my sleep tonight.
Well, the cat would. Let's be honest.
Obviously, that's why it's Steve's cat. Obviously, but we don't want to hurt her feeling. Oh right, yeah. People don't realise that Daisy is sleeping in my lap. But
Go.
She can't.
Oh. Okay. Beer or wine?
Oh, wine. But there's a reason. There's a very good reason. Why not? Well, there's also I drink and I know things, which is very important. No, when I was, well, let's just say I was of legal drinking age in some cultures that are not this one. And my boyfriend at the time took me to a party, and for whatever reason, I can't even remember now, I think I'd had a headache or something. I've been pounding the paracetamol all day. And we went to this barbecue. The sun was pounding down, and I just remember drinking Foster's. And the inevitable happened, and I fell asleep, woke up with my head absolutely boiling hot, and immediately lost every bit of Foster's I'd put down my body in the preceding hours. So from that day to this, beer just tastes like vomit. Yeah, I mean, being a 90s girl, obviously the only way I ever used to drink it after that was in Snakebite and Black, and actually that this day, it was the whole, are you, what is it, a metaler or a goth? And nobody would ever admit to being goth because it wasn't cool to be a goth, but we all actually were. We just listened to a bit of metal on the side. Because that's what it comes down to. I don't know if you know that. In goth culture, it comes down to the music. If you listen to the music, you're goth. If you're not, you're old, and that's fine. Everybody's fine with that, but apparently that's the rule. I don't give a shit.
Apparently
that is the rule.
No, look, it's the spooky season, or as old people call it, October. Right? So, yeah. and I'm all for it. I love that shit.
I do. I love it. Always have.
In order to try and get something kind of sort of thematic going guest wise
Uh-huh.
throughout this month, I gave up on that very, very quickly because trying to get through all the bullshit fake OnlyFans girl goth ink doll wannabe trash bags.
Ah.
You know, I'm sorry if you're watching. No, I'm not, because you are.
Not
You know who you are, and you know what you are.
No, we're not remotely fucking sorry. We like real people. That's what we like.
It was,
people.
yeah, it was like almost like soul destroying,
Yeah.
you know. And it was like, and of course they all have like more followers than me and more subscribers than me, and make a lot more money than me because my boobs just aren't that great. And even if they were, they'd still be below that line, and I wouldn't be doing that because it's just not me. But yeah, so I kind of gave up on that a little bit, and I just went and got myself a real life witch because I just thought, yeah, you know, eat shit and die.
I watched that actually before we had our sort of initial.
Right.
I actually put that episode on because I want to see what I'm into. Yeah, no, she's really cool.
Wonderful.
She's into a lot of the same practices as me, although I will say I'm not Wiccan. I've got a whole different approach. Nothing against Wiccans at all. It's just not my path. But I really liked her. She had a lot of decent things to say, you know, and she was very on point.
Very, very open to discuss it as well. I mean, and her own that week was like the second time. The first episode I got with this very actual origin story of getting into it, and from the total non-believer, not just like, you know, it's always been there or something. Mm-hmm. There isn't like some great, you know, had the gift kind of movie origin story. And I just thought, you wouldn't expect, even if that's the truth, you kind of wouldn't expect, you want to like sell the brand.
Well,
you know,
my difference that I personally have with Wiccans is it's not with them as pagans, it's not with them as individuals, it's just that they believe differently to me, because I believe more in a sort of masculine, feminine, equal energy, whereas part of their worship is a triple goddess, the maiden, mother and crone, which all people that identify as female or are assigned female as birth or transition, we all go through these stages, but also so do cis men or, you know, trans men. Everybody has these cycles in their life, and it, to me, in the Wiccan practice, they have their triple goddess, but it feels to me very, very juxtaposed to Christianity, and I'm probably going to get slaughtered in the comments for saying that, but it's not personal, it's just how I feel about it. I feel like everything is equally balanced, you know, and that every person actually goes through these phases of their lives, and even within their own lives those energies can fluctuate from masculine to feminine or back again, and some people never do. Some people just stay all the way over here masculine, some people stay all the way here feminine, but it's hard to put into words, because a lot of the ways that Wiccans see the world I do agree with. I have a real problem with the threefold law, because to me, energy, it comes and it goes, it's not good, it's not bad, it's out there and it exists, and you harness it one way or the other. You harness it for positive reasons, you harness it for negative reasons, or you let it be. Whereas the threefold law, if I do something bad to you, I have to be prepared for the fact that something 3 times worse may come back on me. And to me, it's a misalignment of spiritual scales. Now, that is only my own personal thoughts, and everyone's entitled to their own beliefs, but that's how I personally feel about it. I certainly wouldn't ever dismiss anyone else's thoughts and feelings on it, but it's a very difficult thing to talk about when you've got a lot of pagans in a room all arguing about who's right and wrong, you know.
I have nothing, but I'm fascinated by anyone who has a thing. I don't want to say belief system. I don't know why that's not sitting right with me. But anyone else, you know, that gets you through, that gives you a purpose, a focus.
I have absolutely no idea what caused the Big Bang. It doesn't matter to me. But I do believe that all the energy out there is equally balanced. Whether you want to call that light and dark, black and white, masculine, feminine, whatever you want to call it. And from that initial creation of the universe, we all come from that. You know, there are particles in all of us that are that old. We're all made out of stardust and starlight. That's what we go back to. And nothing ever completely disappears. It just changes form, which is why, to me, I actually do have a lot of belief in alternate realms and dimensions. But at the same time, like I said, just because I believe that, I don't expect anybody else to believe it. But something that, funnily enough, I learned from my son. Hi, Jack. Happy 13th birthday, sweetheart. And happy 11th birthday, Caitlin, for 2 days ago. My darling daughter. I better get that out of the way, or I'm going to get roped out when I get home. Love you, kids. What was I saying? Where was I?
Energies.
Yes, energies. No, the one thing that I have noticed, and I've even noticed it in like tiny little minuscule ways in my own life, is everything needs to balance. And if it doesn't, that's when bad things starts happening, you know. And that's while it is medically disproven, and so it should be, but that's where the initial theory of humors came from, you know. That the bodily humors had to be balanced. That's where that actually came from, and modern medicine then grew out of that. So I don't think we should entirely throw away the old ways because we brought in the new ones.
Yeah, I mean,
Jamie just said quantum physics is bridging the gap with what us she means our consciousness. That's what she means.
Yeah,
anyway, Jamie's awesome.
I mean, look, a wise man once said back in the 90s that it's better to have ideas than beliefs, because it's easier to change an idea. Changing a belief, you know, it's because we learn, we get new information.
If we're open to listening to other people's ideas and learning from them, then all that is dogma. That's all you've done, you know, and that is actually what wars are fought over. That's what forms organized religion. So,
so
I apologize if you can hear snoring. I have an American beside me who wants to sleep and promised he wouldn't, but he has.
Probably the best answer to beer or wine ever. Moving on.
Do you remember when I told you that I am full of shit and you're probably going to regret it? Do you remember that I did say that publicly, and I can screenshot that I said it?
I mean, kids, imagine what's going to happen next. Pizza or kebab?
Oh, kebab. Clearly.
That was easy.
Well, really easy, but it has to be the shish. I'm not keen on Donna. But that's... I just prefer...
With eyebrows. Animal eyebrows. Animal eyebrows, testicles, wonderful stuff.
Oh, yeah. You used to watch 2 pints of lager in a packet.
Didn't everybody?
Yes, I know, but I just identified that, and I can tell you exactly who said that, and it was Donna.
Yeah, that sounds right.
In the kebab shop after a night out with Janet.
Okay. Would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf?
Oh, vampire.
Oh, fucking vampire. Vampire. Ooh, sexy vampire. Everybody wants to be a sexy vampire.
To do with being sexy? Fuck that shit. It's just easier to like grab. I'm a weak little woman. I'm 5'4". I don't have much physical strength. It's much easier to like, you know, romance them into letting me kill them than it is to chase buggers down and tear their throats out. Not that I can't.
Not true. But I have
to. That's what we're talking about. Yes.
I have to strike a blow for, you know, the hairy mammal. It's not that bad a thing to be.
If it helps, I was always Team Jacob, not Team Edward. Because, sorry, no, vampires.
Oh, let's not even get into that.
But I do have to say, a lot of my, it might be a little bit of a residual Spike thing. Buffy, Spike, William the Bloody. Yeah, there might be a thing there. We won't go there.
Skydiving or scuba diving?
Sky, because if I'm gonna die, it might as well be quick and easy rather than having my lungs explode on my way back up, you know.
That's one way of looking at it.
You're never going to
Now-
get me to do either. We're not past a certain
Yeah,
time.
okay. Big parties or small gatherings?
Oh, small gatherings, sod parties.
Quality over quantity. Yeah.
Every time, always.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I do apologise for anyone that can hear, you know, fucking Eagle Peak is over here snoring his bollocks off. I am sorry about that.
Would you rather have money or free time?
Free time every time.
All right. Oh. Would you rather see a puppet show or a magic show?
Magic, I don't do puppets. I bloody hate puppets. They give me the absolute wiggins. Absolute wiggins.
Even the Muppets?
Oh, well, no, actually, you know, the Muppets get a pass, but Fraggle Rock, no.
But
Even as a kid, I was not watching Fraggle Rock. That was just, no.
no, Fraggle Rock. Red from Fraggle Rock. One of my earliest crushes.
Really?
I think it's the voice more than the, you know.
Well, if
Crazy
it helps, mine's equally as embarrassing. Apparently, I can't even remember which show it was now, but what show was Dusty Bin on?
Oh, right. Yeah, Ted Rogers, 3, 2, 1.
That's the one. Well, apparently, when I was like 3 or 4, I used to say that I was in love with Dusty Bin, and I used to try and hug the TV and kiss him when he rolled down on his little D2 leg thing.
That's so sweet.
Well, I went from there to Jason Donovan, you know, so it could only get back.
I'd stick with Dusty, but each other.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I
Um,
mean. How much worse can it be?
Yeah, but he was no Chesney Hawkes, was he?
Oh, jeez. Who have you been talking to? If it was Alison, she's lying. No, that song, the one and only, I always used to say that was my song. And to be fair, 30 years, 35, a while on, still agree with it.
Do you know, actually, if you can find it, I haven't looked for a while, so it may not be there anymore. But if you can find it on YouTube, if you haven't already seen it, Jason Donovan and Chesney Hawkes singing especially for you, absolutely rat-assed at some charity do, is one of the best things.
Do you remember the Scott and Charlene wedding?
Sort of, but I'm a boy, so it was a bit less interesting for me.
Well, obviously, but I mean, I was at Brownies last night, and for the night that was on, and I actually had to set my video recorder, VCR for our American friends. I actually had to set that all by myself so that I could watch it when I got home.
Yeah.
And that's when I first figured out I had to set a VCR, and now the world can sleep easy knowing that.
I mean, it was a big fucking deal.
It was.
If you were there, you know.
I had the sticker album. Do you know how much money you had to pay out on those bloody stickers?
I was looking at sticker albums the other day.
Pokemon cards. Who did you think invented that shit? You know, that's Gen Xers.
Yeah. But there's one thing. I was actually looking at sticker albums the other day, and that one came up.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, there's just not enough shiny holographic things in the world anymore.
They just aren't.
It is my takeaway from sort of looking back at sticker albums for some reason was, why don't we do that? That looks cool as fuck. Why do we have more shiny holographic things?
That was absolutely amazing. But yeah, we're going to be into Thundercats and Transformers and Turtle territory at this rate. You know that, don't you?
Oh, no, I've been there, done that. There's a whole 4-hour video of me and some of my bestest friends trying to do a Hollywood live action casting for Thundercats.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we probably spent way too long and took it way too seriously.
I
but,
would very much like to see a live action Thundercats as long as Michael Bay keeps his fucking paws off it.
Yeah, he needs to ruin no more of my childhood. He's done enough.
He has destroyed enough of my childhood. Thank you very bloody much. I'll come direct it myself. Seriously, if any Hollywood producers are watching, I'm available for an apprenticeship.
So, polka dots or stripes?
Stripes.
Oh, that was quick. You know, no, it's just, you'd be surprised.
How often I've been put in front of a slide guy.
You'd be surprised how often. You might be surprised how often that's the one that people seem to put most thought into. Like, it's really important. In fact, somebody asked me, like, you know, like horizontal or vertical. I was like, don't give a fuck.
I'm not to whether they remember most Mr. Blobby or Bananas in Pajamas.
But,
And as someone who really had serious issues with the whole Mr. Blobby thing,
you know,
I'm guessing
you
I'm going banana. I'm team bananas.
know my serious issue with Mr. Blobby is that. Oh God, it's a serious issue, and then I can't even remember which way around
Tell
it.
me you remember when he fell over live and
Well,
his head rolled off.
no, there's an issue with the
person in the suit.
There's an issue regards Mr. Blobby and the Christmas #1.
Oh, the Blobby song.
Yeah, because if you ever watch these like year by year rundown kind of a
I
thing,
usually do it at Christmas.
and it's sort of and it gets to that year, and there's like a whole Mandela effect thing going on. Because sometimes it's Mr. Blobby, and another time you'll watch this show and it's Babe by Take That, and then
Babe did get to Christmas #1. I know it did.
You watch one again and they say it's Mr. Blobby, and I'm like, I know it was a close run thing.
No,
I remember that.
Take That, because it's the only song that Mark Owen fronted that they released. Yeah. Oh God, why am I admitting that?
Yes. So let's do a few sort of spooky seasonal ones, if you like. Black or purple?
Oh God, that's not fair. You're asking me to choose between my children at this point.
That's what someone said the other week.
I absolutely had to pick the one that has been the most faithful to me in my life. We're going to go with black.
Okay. So bats or rats?
Bats.
Oh, yeah.
No, I have to, because Matthew, the snoring American, he absolutely loves bats. They're like his favorite creature.
They are amazing.
Honestly, I love them too, but I also have a serious affection for rats. I really do, because they're so misunderstood and so mistreated.
So smart. They're a clever little animal.
They're clever than most of the cunts that start fights on Glasgow's page. You know?
I wanted there was a girl once upon a time. We're back in the 90s again. But yeah. there was a girl I wanted to date so badly, but not really. I just wanted to spend time with her rats. She had two rats. She had 2 rats.
I had 12 mice at one point. My dad was annoyed.
Yeah, because you have to keep them occupied, because they're so clever. They can't just sit in a cage and munch or whatever. So there was a whole obstacle course of pipes and trapdoors and shit that went all 3 laps round her bedroom and then down the stairs and into the spare room and under
God, that's amazing.
They're coming under the stairs and back again. And I just used to be like, yeah, I don't know what you've invited me around for, but I know what I'm doing now.
The reason I went with cat, I'm such a cat person that everybody I knew when their cats, had their scandalous teenage pregnancies, I was the one like, have the kittens been born yet? Can I come around and see them? Can I come play with them? And my mum was always like, don't you dare come back here with any cats. Oh, okay, I've only had about 47 since I turned 18. I'm fine. That didn't affect me in any.
But in the age-old cats versus dogs competition, if there even is one, cats do have a bit of an unfair advantage. Did you know? In the form that they do carry a parasite.
What, the toxoplasmosis thing?
Yeah.
And that they can eliminate their enemies if they so choose. But
yeah, which it does. It somehow it endears you to preordains you to be a cat lover. It makes you like cats more. Their pheromones or whatever it is. This parasite is in your brain and it's going, you like cats. And then, cats like you, because also they sense it.
So basically, my head is full of catworms.
Yeah. So while the cats are, brainwashing you with, with the parasitic organisms.
Toxo-worms that have wormed their way into my brain and are now stirring it all around and around. The dog like, hi, can I be your friend? I'm like, no, catworms, go away.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not fair on the poor dogs that's just sat there going, I love you. I don't know why, but I love you.
See, I actually had a phobia of dogs.
Who doesn't want that?
Oh God, I love my babies so much. No, I actually had a phobia of them for a really long time because I had bad experiences. As a kid, I got bitten a couple of times. So what really did it when I was 15, a friend of mine, her parents had gotten this German Shepherd, and I'd gone round to her house after school. She went upstairs to get changed. This German Shepherd put its paws up on my shoulders, pinned me backwards into the chair, and was barking like right rough in my face. Now, knowing as much as I do about dogs and animals in general now, that dog was frightened. But at 15, I was frightened. I thought I was going to get eaten. So it took me years to trust another dog, absolute years. And it wasn't until when my son was about a year old, we got a Labrador, beautiful golden lab called Kai. And that dog completely won my heart, because when Jack was about a year old and I was newly pregnant with his sister, we went to the park. I set Jack down to just play, as his dad let Kai off the lead. And this dog, I don't know what breed it was, I don't even remember, but out of nowhere, this dog came straight at my son. And if it hadn't been for Kai, my Labrador, who wasn't even fully grown at this point, he shot between my son and this other dog and took all these bites while my children's father picked our son up and then handed the boy to me, and then he rescued the dog. And seeing how much love that dog had for my little boy, and then when my daughter was born, every time I left the room, right, initially I was like, can I leave this dog alone with a baby? But eventually I thought, well, I can't live my life locking out my arse, you know what I mean? Eventually I've got to. And I went to the bathroom, I came back, my daughter was led on her playmat, and Kai, the dog, was right down beside her with his chin out, watching, like proper observing her around. The day we brought her home from the hospital, I'm sat nursing her on the sofa, and Kai was actually bringing his toys and putting them in a circle around me. And after that, I mean, oh, that dog, he's still alive. He's 12 years old, and he is the middle child. He doesn't have long. We're keeping him going with like meds and keeping him comfortable. But that dog, honest to God, if you've ever seen Marley and Me, that's what I've got. Anyway, I'm going to talk about Marley and Me because you don't want me to cry.
I've heard that exact story, both stories, so many times. Dogs are amazing for that. You know what's not amazing? What's scariest, clowns or zombies?
Oh God, clowns! I don't do clowns. Zombies are fine. Yeah, you don't know what the hell's under all that makeup. They're creepy. John Wayne Gacy. Find
Okay.
a zombie that's famous. You know, an actual real life zombie famous for being that horrible. Most of them, no, they're just on drugs. They're fine. Leave them alone. Don't get high. Nothing's ever been done for being high and disorderly, you know.
Okay. If you had to live with the Addams Family or the Munsters, which one are you picking?
Well, am I one of them, or am I just boarding in the house? Because that's really two different scenarios.
Well, living with, so participating in family events and
I'm going to go with the Addams Family, because essentially I gave birth to Wednesday Addams anyway. Forever. I'm sorry, Caitlin. I love you, sweetheart, but it's true. It is. It's true.
You know, what else have we got here? Oh, okay. Let's, you want to do some news? You want to get topical?
Oh, yeah, whatever. Find whatever you want at me. I'm sorry.
I get. No, how about
this? I hear him snoring because I can shove him off the bed.
It's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's ambience. It's great. So rarely get to even use that word, so it's cool.
Please wake up.
All right, now you see.
Please, you're snoring. Pass me the bottle. Pass me not the wine bottle. That thing with the lid on it. Sorry.
All right.
Marital bliss. No, we're really happy.
Okay, so.
Okay.
In somewhat.
Thing with the black lid on it. Yeah.
In somewhat spooky season type news,
uh-huh.
the World Conkers Championships came to an end at the weekend.
Oh.
Which I'm sure you noticed. No, it was controversial. It was
It
pretty
was.
sexy. Conkers are sexy, I tell you. Right?
That's what you boil them in. I mean, you boil them in vinegar. Yeah,
Yes.
they go hard as rock. But
82-year-old David Jackins is now the Conkers World Champion. He's been participating in the tournament since 1977, and he's finally won it for the first time.
Good for him. That's amazing.
Yeah, he goes by the moniker of King Conker, which, given you've been trying since 1977 and failing, seems a bit of an exaggeration, but it's okay now.
Also, do you know what? No, the man stuck it out for 47 years to conquer. That is like,
Yes.
What's his bloody name? Genghis Khan didn't stick it out that long.
There was controversy. There was controversy as a steel conker painted brown was found in his pocket. I don't know who was going into his pockets. That doesn't really seem too nice. Right? But there has been a full investigation from the World Conker Authority or whatever they are, and he's been cleared, and he is still the legitimate Conkers World Champion.
Was it a mascot?
He said he had the steel one as just for comedy value. He'd use it to play tricks on people, but he would never use it in a real tournament. And he's been found innocent.
I'm actually, if someone's prepared to stick it out for 47 years, I'm prepared to take his word for that. Do you know what I mean?
He should just be like honorary champion, whether he won or not at that point.
No, serious respect that.
No, that's pretty cool. Yeah, in a strange way. While we're on other controversial topics, have you seen the Christmas Easter eggs in an Aldi yet?
No.
Cheester eggs. Get it? Because who doesn't like chocolate and who doesn't like Christmas? And we like Easter, and there's chocolate at both, so why not?
Back once again like a renegade pasta.
So why not?
Can't help myself.
Why not just dress up all the shitty, cheap Easter eggs we couldn't sell, place them on like a gingerbread man sort of surround, Gary the gingerbread man, but it's an Easter egg, but it's for Christmas. Or there's a penguin one, Percy the penguin or whatever his fucking name is, something like that. Something of alliteration anyway. But Easter eggs for Christmas.
Pig, but I only know that because I've read it in posh people's blog. And what's it called? What happens in Waitrose or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, Leo, please don't. Anyway, sorry, current.
But yeah, Christmas Easter eggs or Cheester eggs. I mean, rather start a trend than follow one, I guess. Aldi, good on you for that, I suppose.
Oh yeah, but what happened to their carrot? Where did the carrot go? There was this whole bloody thing about what's his name, Kevin?
Colin? No, it's a caterpillar, right? Kevin, probably
Colin's the caterpillar cake. We're not disrespecting Colin. Colin is a national icon. I want to talk about Kevin the carrot. What the hell?
Yeah.
I don't know. Somewhere out of nowhere, he's become.
No, I mean, it happens to a lot of people. You get too much fame too quickly at a tender age, like Kevin did. I mean, he's off having his wilderness years. He's probably married to someone 30 years older than him, and he's on the no snow, and
You saw that post, didn't you?
I see many posts. It's a phrase. People say that, right?
Well, until I said it the other day, most people in Britain hadn't heard it.
There's few things I haven't heard. I might not understand, but
you know what no snow is, though. I'm sure you do.
Which speaking of which, there's a couple of Liams in the news recently.
Gallagher and
one of whom took a bit of a dive off a balcony.
Oh, Liam Payne, bless
his heart. I don't know how sad that really is. I don't know the guy. I'm not particularly familiar with his history.
In all fairness, I was the wrong generation. I was sort of the take that Westlife generation. But as much as I don't actually know, I know who he was, but I'm not like if it was Robbie Williams. I would be bawling. But at the end of the day, you're talking about a 31-year-old man with a 7-year-old son who's died in tragic circumstances. You know, there's nothing but a tragedy, however you look at it.
No, it is. It is. And so, again, it's brought up a lot of talk. I mean, even Bruce Springsteen's chiming in. Like
what he said.
We shouldn't be, we shouldn't be making pop stars out of children. We shouldn't be like, he wants to see laws saying you can't have a record contract if you're under 18 or something. Because
who was it? It was Sandy Shaw. I'm sure it was Sandy Shaw. She won a competition when she was about 12, 13, something like that. But one of the judges gave us 0 points and said, come back in 5 years and you're going to win, because he didn't want to ruin her childhood. I only know that my dad told me. I wasn't even born. But no, I do understand exactly what you're saying there. I really do. But it was a horrible time to be young, the early 2000s. You know?
Yeah.
It was an absolutely horrible time. And I don't know if that would happen to the same degree today. I suppose people are still thrown in.
You think things have improved until the next tragedy happens, and you go, oh, you know what?
The one that really makes me think, and I actually bring this up quite a lot when people are being assholes to people that are in the public eye. Caroline Flack.
All right.
Again, it's not my genre. I don't really follow it, but I do remember that she had an incident with her boyfriend that resulted in her being arrested. Right? She was then bailed. She got bullied to hell and back on the internet when people didn't actually know what had even happened. It was before it even saw a courtroom. And she was bullied so severely online that in the end she took her life, you know. And people need to learn to grow a filter. They really do. And they need to realize that you might be talking on the internet, but the person that you're talking about could just as easily be sat across the table from you, and it's not okay.
Yeah, I mean, regards.
Her own boyfriend, you know, Caroline Flack's own boyfriend came out and said, no, we were both at fault that night. Yeah. It's just unfortunate, and we both want to put it behind us. But she was bullied so badly, you know, it messed her mental health up that much, and a young woman's gone because of it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to celebrity, I've always never given a shit about that. That's none of my business.
Normally, but I do always try and remember that they're human, you know?
Yeah, I want to know the tour dates. I want to know when the next album's out. I want to know when the movie's released. I want to know when the movie's out on VHS.
Yes.
Kids, VHS was like Netflix, but you had to rewind it. Rewinding is like skipping it backwards, but it takes longer.
And also, kids today will never know the fear of not getting back and flying over the sofa before part 2 started.
Yeah, but I just want to know when the next thing's out, right?
Yeah, I'm the same.
I really never cared who they're dating.
No,
or
I never did.
Where they live, or how much this cost, or what designer that jacket is particularly, or I always just felt like it's really irrelevant to why I'm interested in this person, because I'm not really interested in the person.
The way I see it, right, is this is what they do for a living. This is them in their professional context. You don't look into the dentist's private life and comment on it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
And it's the same with actors. You know, when people are like, oh, well, so-and-so, they're not believable in that part because it's not who they are in real life. Well, no. That's what it's called, acting, dear.
Yeah. I mean, that's just crazy. I'm all for diversity and representation. I really, really am. Right?
Yeah, totally.
But I only want to see. I want to see it done the way it's done in real life. I want to see it natural, not.
Do you know what one of the best things for that was? Have you seen the Buzz Lightyear movie?
No, I haven't seen anything since Toy Story 2.
I'll tell you one tiny little thing, and I promise I won't wank on for an hour about it. Buzz's, he's got a colleague anyway. The colleague's a woman, and when they go back to the apartment, I can't remember why, but anyway, Buzz comes back to her apartment, and her wife comes up, hugs her, gives her a kiss, and that's the only part in which that's in the story. And that's what I love, because that is
Yeah.
so normal. That's everyday life. And
That's how you normalize it, not pushing it in people's faces and shit. How you normalize it is it's just there because it is.
I mean,
It's not the plot.
I
It's not
don't
the
think
be
they
all and
really
end all. It
necessarily
just
do the
is.
pushing things in people's faces the way they used to do in the 90s.
Yeah.
In the 2000s, you know, when they first decided they were going to like normalize whatever they were going to normalize. Now, I think there is scope out there for a lot more teenage and young person shows along the lines of, you know, like Friends and How I Met Your Mother, but with modern circumstances,
Yeah.
with young people that obviously young people today are exploring themselves a lot more. And I think there's a massive gap in the market for that.
Yeah.
Perhaps, I don't know, I mean, something that occurred to me, well, what about, you know, what about a university campus? Why not make a show about that and make really, really identifiable characters? And I do think that there does need to be a lot more inclusion, but like you say, you know, it doesn't all need to be, this is the entire focus. And I know what you're on about. You're on about like the swaps and things that they keep doing.
Yeah, I know that we've had like almost 2 centuries of like movies and TV shows, and they were like written by a white straight man, directed by a white straight man, and starring predominantly white straight men.
And when I watch the old black and white movies where the men are forever making the women the butt of the joke, all they want to do is reach for the screen and strangle them.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's me speaking as a woman. I've got no idea how, say, a black person or you know, a gay person or a transgender person might feel seeing the same thing happening today. I don't have the right to speak on that. But I do think there's better ways of presenting things than they do at the moment.
Yeah, given that like that so many fucking decades of that exists, I get that kind of zooming out and sprinkling a few, like, you know, this was written by a black guy, directed by a black guy, and starring a whole black cast with black cameramen and women and black sound operators. Seems like diversity, but it's not.
It depends on what the subject matter is, though. I mean, I actually wish this was a movie and not a stage production. There's a production being made in Los Angeles that's a remake of Romeo and Juliet, and it's actually being done in Venice Beach. Now, Venice Beach at the moment, unfortunately, is an area that is with crime. Is it Venice? No, it's Verona Beach. I don't know. Anyway, it's Italian, whatever the frick it's called. The point being, it's in an area that has a lot of gang problems. So what they've done is they've made Romeo and Juliet, the couple, from rival gang houses. Now, I love that, and I really wish they would have made it a movie, because that's what we need.
I'm pretty sure it probably has been.
It's not, though. It's not. It's a stage production. I think the last Romeo and Juliet movie actually made was Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes.
Well, I mean, there are many, 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 many Shakespeare adaptations that people don't know are Shakespeare adaptations, because if you said this is Shakespeare, people won't watch it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That is entirely fair. Well, I mean, Cruel Intentions, if anyone said it was Dangerous Liaison, who's going to watch it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So it would not surprise me if we did a little digging that we might be able to find something along the lines of that stage production in movie form. It might not be the greatest movie ever made, but it seems so obvious, doesn't it? It's like, how can that not be a thing?
What we really actually need to do when it comes to such things as, you know, inclusion and things like that, we actually need to stop putting the white people in charge of making the production. And if this is a story about, you know, if this is a story about a transgender person, perhaps put some transgender people on the, you know, the crew. The same with, like, if something is, I don't know, starring a Chinese couple, perhaps speak to some people from a Chinese background. Don't just assume that white people know what they're talking about because they've read the book. I got a friend from this.
Yeah, I mean, when you're making Yeah, I mean, when you're making the FBI thriller, there's always some representative from the FBI on set trying to
Exactly.
help, and that's what you do to promote the film. You go, oh, because my film's better than the other film because my film's authentic because we had,
Exactly. I mean, it's
Inspector
also
so and so tell
important
us what
to
to
sort
do.
of canvass opinions because you can't expect one person to speak for an entire demographic.
No,
But I also think that, you know, at the end of the day, we're at a point in time where white people predominantly need to sit down and shut up and listen to other
little
people.
bit,
If we're going to
yeah.
make the other thing that absolutely boils my absolute potatoes is why do we actually have to keep shaking up like Disney? I'm talking about Disney. I'm going to come for Disney right now. Why exactly can they not just leave their classics alone? There are so many stories and legends that have come out of Africa about their kings and queens, and South America about their legends,
Oh,
and Australia about their First Nations peoples. Why can't they make movies about them?
you've
Why?
been told.
I I I actually, it doesn't bother me in the slightest that they race swapped Ariel. They covered it in one sentence in the movie. It was literally "Welcome, my daughters of the seven seas," and there it is. Fine, it works. But to me, it's like, no, fuck off. It's just capitalism. There are so many amazing stories out there that could be told and should be told because
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Black history and Indigenous history isn't all slavery. It's not all Trail of Tears. Let's
Oh,
tell some of the stories that they would prefer were told, you know?
you know, I'll leave it to me, and I'll tell you all the tales of all the white people who went around enslaving other white people because people were just
Exactly.
the best, the highest commodity you could have. And
Exactly.
like, by God, I
Right
mean,
from the
there are
Roman
so
times.
few indigenous people left on the face of the earth. You're all fucking immigrants, right? Deal with it.
Not in Australia. Not in
My country.
Australia.
Fuck you. It ain't your country, pal. It hasn't been for a long, 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 long time because you are not who you seem to think you are. You know,
Well, it
every
really does
St.
depend. I
George's
mean,
flag waving dickhead that doesn't realise
oh,
that
this
he's
is
obviously,
George. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, we're back in England. Yeah, no,
yeah,
absolutely. No, those, don't get me started on the fucking
that
flag
somewhere down
waving.
the line, that proud Englishman, I guarantee you, dude, you're Italian, Spanish, Danish, Irish, somewhere down the line,
Oh,
I fucking guarantee you are.
oh, the
Because
best
it's
part is
20,
when you tell them they're
because it's
speaking French. They love
2024 and there's no way you're not. You're not a native English pagan. You're not like 3,000 years old, are
no,
you? So you're not
exactly.
an Englishman.
And
We don't
absolutely every
exist.
last one of us is a melting pot, and that's exactly the way it should be, and that's the way it needs to be going forward, you know.
Yeah.
And I actually have this theory that, like, however many millions of years this is going to take, I don't know, and I'm probably going to get shut on for saying it, but I actually think, you know, because the world is effectively shrinking because of global
Yeah.
travel, I think eventually we're going to have a global population that's going to have a beautiful sort of coffee complexion and a mixture of sort of brownish hair with light red traits to it, and I think probably brown eyes. And then if we happen to find another planet that has people similar to ourselves, that's that generation of that existence of people, wherever we want to put,
Yeah.
they're gonna then be fighting the same battles. Because there was this study where if you were to put like 1,000 people with very pale skin, freckles, and ginger hair on an island, leave them there and come back 2,000 years later, you'd have a race of people that all looked very similar. You know,
Yeah.
and that actually is what's happened with human evolution. Am I wanking on
That's
far too long here, Johnny?
fantastic.
I can shut up if
Um,
you like.
no, I was just, oh God, because human beings, the
Scourge of
most
the earth. That's what we are. We're
beautiful
scourge
and
of the earth.
terrifying fucking things. I love them and hate them in equal degree. Oh,
Will you stop boring,
oh
Matthew?
no.
Sorry. He loves
Okay. Can we get back? Hey, oh,
Hi, we're back. We're back. Do you really
fantastic.
want me to stop waffling on about shite? Because I can do this all.
Yeah, no, okay. So let's talk about the other Liam. Let's talk about
Gallagher.
let's talk about the. Oh God, I forgot about that one.
All right.
That's
Sorry, which
not a
Liam?
thing for me. No, I was thinking we could talk about that one, but I was thinking
Must
Mr. Neeson.
Liam
Liam Neeson.
Neeson. Why? What's he done?
He's retiring.
Is he really?
He's retiring. He's well. It's kind of cryptic because he says he talks about how you can only fool an audience for so long, and the idea of a 72-year-old man running around beating the shit out of people might be getting a bit hard even for his talents as an actor to pull off. So it's kind of, so are you just going to stop making action movies, or are you going to stop making movies? It's a little bit, he's kind of left it a little bit open-ended.
Yeah, I mean,
but he's possibly, he just throw the word retirement around, but whether he's retiring from action movies,
it might well be that he just doesn't want to do the physical stuff. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. The one that really does make me sad is Bruce Willis. Bless him.
Oh man, yeah.
That one is heartbreaking. I've loved him for. Did you ever see Hudson Hawk?
I will die on that hill. Hudson Hawk is a great fucking movie, right?
Thank you. You are the first person to say that to me. Most people are like, "What's Hudson Hawk?"
I kid you not. Hudson Hawk is the reason this exists.
Is it
Hudson Hawk is the very reason Johnny Fox exists.
No shit.
Pandemic, as we all did, looking for something to do. I mean, I actually worked all the way through it, so it wasn't as weird for me as for some people.
Yeah.
But the fact that there was still weirdness, and the fact that you did kind of think about, mortality a little bit, and like, if there's something I want to do, maybe I should get it fucking done. So I kind of got in conversation. I was always supposed to do this. There was always supposed to be two people here, but it was supposed to be me and a friend. Like taking the week's kind of pop culture news and just poking fun at it, and or whatever, what we'd watched recently or rewatched, and just shooting the shit. And one of the main things was without trying to be like purposely niche and like let's be different, But the fact that it occurred to us that we do like a lot of what we like isn't the mainstream big budget AAA, all singing, all dancing shit that people like, which we also do like. And Hudson Hawk was one of the first things we looked at each other and went, like Hudson Hawk. Obviously, instantly put it on and started watching it. And so this kind of all, originally the posts, and then the posts grew into some different types of posts, and then posts grew into videos and shit. But yeah, actually Hudson Hawk in some ways.
To God, that is my favourite. I mean, I know he's done bigger budget, and there are other movies he's done that obviously mean a great deal to all of us, but Hudson Hawk, that's my baby. I love that so much. It's the first time I've spoken to somebody who actually gets that.
It is. I mean, and I don't understand how people who will say that they like Bruce Willis, but not that movie. It's like, it's peak Willis.
It's epic.
Peak Willis. That's Willis doing what he does best.
Yes.
All the way through. That's what you want to see if you're watching a Bruce Willis movie.
He spends the whole movie trying to get his bloody coffee. And at the end, when he finally does, that bliss on his face, I don't know. I mean, anyone who's ever been kept awake for 4 years straight by Jack Redman, my darling son, will know what I'm talking about.
I think we have another. I think there's at least one more of us, right?
Yeah.
There's me, you, there's my friend Shaggy.
Okay.
And I think there's at least one more of us. Did you watch Reacher?
Actually, no, but it is on my list. It is. I promise it's on my list. And Matt's seen it, but he's obviously he's rather slumbery.
I greatly prefer season 1, but they're both good.
Yeah.
But in season 1, there's this running gag with our big burly hero of a man. I'm sure you've seen him, Alan Richardson. Great guy. There's this running gag all the way through season 1 where he keeps going to this diner that's supposed to have the best pie in the state, and something happens and he never quite gets to eat it before he has to start fighting people
like
and shit.
the burger, Robin Scherbatsky
right
trying to get the best burger. You saw How I Met Your Mother, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
You know when they're going from diner to diner to diner, and nah, this ain't the one, and she's like, every time, same thing.
So so when he, much like the coffee, when he gets this pie, well, you're just thinking he's got to get it. I mean, it's the last fucking episode, so you know, like they're not going to drag it out. It's not going to be a running storyline into season 2, surely, you know.
Yeah.
And so, no matter what else has happened, no matter how like intricate the twisting and turning stories and the politics, and really like he's got the pie.
That actually does sound right up my street. I need to watch that.
There's somebody on that writing staff. I watched it and I just thought somebody's a Hudson Hawk fan.
Yeah, you can kind of see hallmarks.
Before.
You can kind of see the hallmarks if you know what you're looking for.
Yeah. But yeah,
am I giving your head in? Am I banging on too much here?
Not at all. Just so we might not be getting much more Liam Neeson, but he's got plenty out there. There's a fair legacy that the guy's leaving behind.
He does have one hell of a legacy, and the man's earned it. You know, he's earned his acting chops. You know.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the guy also with the biggest penis in Hollywood.
Oh, really?
Allegedly, potentially, yeah. Many a starlet has apparently run out of his dressing room. Back in the day, maybe not so much. There's a whole website dedicated to it.
No, I did not know that. I'm such a spring flower.
There's a whole NeesonsCock.com. He has a whole website devoted to the mythic.
Oh my god! What, bigger than Chad Kroeger?
The mythic impressiveness. Yeah, I mean,
seriously, is it bigger than Chad Kroeger? Because that dude is like. I don't know if you've heard the rumors, but apparently.
Apparently, I mean, but is that just because, like, trying to find something positive? Because most people
don't you dare badmouth Nickelback to me. That is no, we're not doing that.
I would not. I had this again. I had a few episodes ago. I managed to get people to. I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I like what I like.
Nickelback, right? And I will die on that hill. I've seen them live twice. And the reason I love them, and I know this is probably the reason a lot of people hate them. I know a reason a lot of people hate them is because it's manufactured. But the reason I love them, actually, I don't love music for the instruments. I love it for the lyrics. And their lyrics, I don't know, they just fucking resonate. I don't know. I don't know why.
I think they're one of those bands. I think everybody should see them live.
Well, I have. Do you
feel like you will get a different opinion after seeing them live? I think they're a really good.
They're amazing. They put on such a wonderful show. Of all the bands I've seen live in my life, Nickelback I would give number one, and I've seen some names, you know.
Yeah. Okay, go for it.
Okay, well, let's see. The times I've been to Monsters of Rock, there's Metallica and Nine Inch Nails. I've seen Rammstein. I've seen Hailstorm. I've seen New Year's Day, Midget. You probably don't know who they are, but if we have an Asian audience, they will. Who else have I seen? Not Pink yet, but I will because she's bucket list for me because that girl is my girl. Who else have I seen? Shit. Ice-T. Ugly Kid Joe.
Ugly Kid Joe are ridiculously good live.
Aren't they though?
Ridiculous. Like, I know people probably think of them as a comedy band or somewhat.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're so entertaining.
They're very, very, very good.
I spent let's just say that I spent a lot of time in arenas I was probably too young to be in, and it was fun. But that's how you live life, right?
Oh yeah.
But oh, White Zombie.
All right.
White Zombie. Somewhere, and I do not know where, but if I can find it, I've got one of Sean's picks. Her guitar picks. Yeah. I've got one. She pitched it into the crowd, and my idiot, anyways, my boyfriend at the time went and caught it, and I'm like, oh, thanks, babe.
Nice.
It's in my pocket, and I still got it.
You know what? I know it's been. I only discovered that this was like a common meme around the internet
Yeah.
when I did it myself for real, and then everybody thought I was just trying to like do the meme, and it's like, what meme? But when looking for Halloween costumes
Yeah.
and things, without, because I'm always like, if I am going to do it, I kind of want to go all in. Like, if it means shaving or whatever, like, so be it.
Absolutely.
Something that I really wanted to do happens to be a female character that I really wanted to do, and I was a bit lazy at getting my shit together, so I was looking for a cheap, quick alternative.
Yeah.
And I was just watching random shit, trying to find something that would actually hold me concentration for a bit, and somehow I got this idea into my head of being a zombie or a ghost, an undead version of Macho Man Randy Savage.
No,
and as I started piecing it together,
Randy Savage,
cowboy hat, shades, beard, tasseled jacket.
I can see it actually.
Then, and only then did I realise I've just made a Rob Zombie outfit. Like, to all intents and purposes, I could be either of these guys.
You were a wrestling fan before they were made to change it to WWE. I met Bret Hart.
Yeah, he seems a bit of a cock, but you never know. I've never met him.
No, he's an angel. He's such a good guy.
I see him.
He's not a cock.
I think in his old age, I think like a lot of them, they realise their youth and hubris and fame and everything.
The reason that Bret is still alive is because he was a bit of a prude at the time when he wasn't touching the things that was helping everybody else hit the skyline. But at the end of the day, he is still here now. And that, honestly, I credit that down to the fact that he married his childhood sweetheart. They had 5 children together, and he had reason not to be taking the, stuff that.
Yeah.
But opinion is obviously divided, and that's fine. But you know who I really, really regret the loss of? Davey Boy Smith.
Yeah.
The British Bulldog. Come on, you must remember Davey.
Oh, well, of course. I was actually, funnily enough, I was just a couple of weeks ago watching a shitload of Davey Boy Smith stuff.
Really?
I only the other week.
Did you know he was
incredible?
Bret Hart's sister.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. Incredible British wrestler Zack Sabre Jr., who I saw quite a few times locally, is now champion of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And it's not that often like a sort of outsider gets to do it. It's not that often a white guy gets that. It's happened, but not that often. And so an Englishman, if you're into this shit, it's a big fucking deal.
For years, when it was WWF, I obviously know now they're WWE, but I'm old. At that point, it's actually one of my fondest memories was going to see them live, and afterwards, because my granddad bought me backstage tickets, I got to meet Bret. I met Owen. I met the current Undertaker. I don't know who the Undertaker was at that time, but I met him. Who else? Shawn Michaels, and believe me, a 14-year-old girl was rather happy to meet Shawn Michaels. You know what I'm saying? But the bitch didn't take my number, so we're over Shawn. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But who else?
He's got God now anyway, so he's all right.
Exactly, God
doesn't need you.
You know what I mean? You only get one chance with me, bitch. Who else? Tatanka, and honestly, nowadays I don't think his persona would fly, but he was one of the lineup. Who else? Jesus, I can't remember, but I met so many of them, and it was just such an amazing night. It was wonderful.
Yeah. So it meant so British wrestlers were just on my mind, and it got me thinking back. Was Davey Boy any good, or was it because he had the image? He fucking had the image, which is why they were willing to stick with him through all his problems, because he looked the part so much, and you can sell that, and that's what that company does. It sells the shit out of people.
Oh, it does.
But I was wondering, was he really any good? So I was finding little documentaries, and and then they were talking about specific matches, and I'd go find the match.
Davey was intermediate. I'm sorry, I don't like to say it. It was intermediate.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like an ass for saying it, because they always had his back in SummerSlam and stuff like that. But no, dude.
Yeah, it's hard to. You can't really find. Nobody seems to have like a bad word to say against him. Everybody's like, he was great, he was great, he was great.
No, he was.
Watch the matches and analyze the matches, and it's like, dude's got 3 moves.
But at the end of the day,
they're a bit boring.
I kind of really hope you're going to know where I'm going with this, because if you don't, I'm going to kill my own fan base. But it's like, you know how nowadays Princess Diana, God rest her, and I loved her, Saint Diana, it's the same thing with Davey Boy Smith, you know. In the wrestling fandom, Davey can do no wrong, such as, you know, Diana can do no wrong. And I truly adored her. She was an idol growing up for me, but the woman's been gone for nearly 30 bloody years, and were she still alive, her life would have moved on. And people haven't moved on. Do you know what I mean? And I kind of feel the same way about Davey.
I mean, it's weird. It's a strange concept in general, the way we get attached to celebrities. So we get attached to people we don't know, we'll never know. If we do get to meet them, we get to meet them for 5 minutes while they sign something, and then fuck off. However sweet and polite they are, but you don't know them. Of
course not. And honestly, I don't want to. There's only one person I know in my entire life who's ever hit the big time, and once he did, I've actually stayed all the fuck away from it, because I want to remember. Like I do. We are friends on Facebook. I love who he is as a person. I don't actually want to read any media bullshit.
Yeah. So on that note, we've already mentioned a few. Is there any other celebrity meetings you've had?
Oh Christ, let me think. The one thing I will do before I forget is say thank you to Haggis for sharing me in the first place, and bursting my what do I call it, following. But obviously, as much as he's a wonderful man, he is only Facebook famous, and I'm sorry, Miles, I love you, but anyway. But who else do we know is actually famous? Well, aside from my grandfather's cousin, have you heard of a radio presenter called Jimmy Young?
Yes, of course.
Well, his cousin was my grandfather, Harry James Nash.
Oh.
And that is a matter of public record, and that's the reason I gave my grandfather's full name, because I'm not going to be told you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. I'm just saying, if anybody wants to. Yeah. So Jimmy Young. Let's see who else. Oh God, I've actually met a fair few. Oh, all right. There are no secrets on the internet, and I know that. So this is one I cannot prove. People either believe it or they don't. I told you that my father's from Belfast. Well, back in the day before he married his first wife, that wasn't my mother, anyway, my father went steady with Gloria Hunniford. Right? Pathetic. I know.
That's a blast from the past.
No, I know, and bless her. Gloria's lovely. I love her. I actually really like her life advice about buying a good mattress and a good pair of shoes. But anyway, who else do I know? Who else have I met? Oh, what's her face from Gladiator? What's her bloody name? Her real name's Diane, but I can't remember her.
The one, the one that everybody
From Gladiator, the real name is Diane. Jesus, what's her name? She's a black lady, if that helps. Jet, maybe? Was it Jet? No, Jet is the one people were like, okay. And
Yeah.
Jet. No,
What
for the
was
record, I don't, but yeah.
Yeah. Was it a zodiac sign?
I want to say, no, I used to call her Nightshade because I thought it was funny. What was it? Something Shade?
Yeah. Anyway.
That's fucking nice.
Anyway,
Somebody.
I poked Brian Molko. Yeah.
Oh, I also have David Jason's autograph. And that means everything to me. It really does. Because I'm sorry, but Del Boy's family to all of us, you know?
We were like, I'm going to get your autograph. Granville, get your pen. I missed the ball on that one.
No, I actually do remember Open All Hours. Do you remember the two Ronnies?
Oh, God, yes.
It's good night for me and it's good night for him. Porridge?
Ronnie Barker is one of the greatest British actors we've ever produced.
Yes, he is. I will
really
endorse that.
Really was. But I saw an interview with him once. He might have been Parkinson because
Party?
And they were talking about like him, like how he hadn't transitioned into motion pictures or whatever, and he kind of said, "Yeah, it's something I would like to do, but it's got to be the right one."
Right.
He started reeling off this list of like, it's got to be like me, De Niro, you know, and these big names. And if I'm not playing with the big boys, I don't want to play. Right. And I was like, I would fucking love to see that, you know, Ronnie Barker, British gangster, like, you know, Fletch, like on the big screen for real with Scorsese, you know.
Oh, can we just for 1 second just speak about Richard Beckinsale?
Oh, lovely.
Good man. Good man. Taken too soon, and I'm really glad that his daughter's done well, you know.
Oh, yeah, she's doing all right. She's still...
I mean, she's got more money than we have, Johnny. You know what I mean? Yeah. We can't talk about Porridge and not mention him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man, I love that. Love that show. Love that show bit.
I have a question right now. This is the deciding factor. If this resonates, you and I are friends for the rest of our life. Talk to me of Edmund Blackadder.
Edmund Blackadder, the complete and utter twat Edmund Blackadder. which version? Oh no, well, they're all twats.
I don't care.
Amazing.
I will throw down all 4 series plus the Blackadder's Christmas Carol plus Blackadder back and forth. Pick one.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's kind of obvious to go with Go Forth. I think it's probably most people's favorite. I think
it is, and to a certain degree, it should be because of how beautifully the last episode plays out. But that should stand alone as a timeless piece.
Yeah,
in my opinion, and everything else is Blackadder. That's a beautiful piece of art.
Yeah.
Yes, Jay, we do have a cunning plan.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying by that? Because the bit where they go over the top. Yeah. I don't think there's a British person on this planet that doesn't see that and feel something. But prior to that, there were however many hours of a series, and it is absolutely untoppably, that's the word, by the way.
It's the word, it is now.
The best thing the Blackadder team ever put together. Thank you, Richard Curtis, by the way. I really think that in itself has a singular place in Britain's heart. So if we pop that beautiful piece of cinematography on Cinematography. I see. I know
It
Big
should
Bird.
it should be in schools. It should
I
be in
did.
schools.
I knew it already. I actually did, but I was the one that went to my history teacher when we were learning about the First
Yeah.
World War, and we were learning about the Somme because my uncle died. Well, my great uncle died on the Somme, so I'd been raised with loyalist songs about.
Right.
Anyway, been raised with it, and I said to my history teacher, "Can we not please just?" And he said, "Well, there's the one word," and I said, "What? The fact that the plan was bollocks?" And he went, "Well, yeah." I said, "Well, it was, and we all say that every day." And he was like, "All right, just don't tell her." And we actually did on our last term, Christmas '92. It must have been. He actually did let us watch Blackadder Goes Forth. And honestly, I really think without Blackadder Goes Forth, more would have been forgotten. But if you pop that little beautiful gem of amazing British television up on the shelf, you're not allowed to use that one. Pick your favourite Blackadder moment.
Oh my God.
I mean, I can give you a season to choose if it's easier. I'll pick a season and you can find a moment. I've got one for all of them.
I can't do that. I can't do that. I just don't think that. Oh, well, I'll spend that. I'll think of something. I'll think of another one.
No,
I'll think of the
we're
other
not
one.
doing Flanders
Then the other
Field.
one.
We're not. Find a moment. You can use all 4 seasons. You can even use the auxiliaries. Just find a favourite moment that doesn't involve Flanders Field. No one can answer that shit to me. You're supposed to be interviewing me.
Yeah. So speaking of which, so we know we've learned something that you feel is completely underrated, Hudson Hawk, and you're right.
You swerving.
Yeah, totally. So tell us something.
It's suffragettes, isn't it?
Tell us. I'm just gonna have to. This is. You know what my weekend consists of now.
It's the suffragettes.
It's your fault. And thank you.
I promise I will go. I will move on. I promise, but I'm great on it. This is where the suffragette movement won the vote.
So, moving on.
Being a good girl, but tell me I'm wrong. Go on, I dare you. My favourite too.
It's just wonderful. I remember.
It's Rick Mail.
It's
Rick Mail. But anyway, we're moving on. Moving on.
I will. Rick Mail is a big fucking deal in this house, and the selfish bastard.
Deal in every house.
Selfish bastard died on someone else who's very special to me in real life's birthday, so I will never forget his death day every time we have to remember their birthday. So that's nice. Thanks for that, Rick. But yeah, other than that, thanks for everything else.
So long and thanks for all the fish.
What?
So long and thanks for all the fish.
Oh,
oh come on, please. I know that reference. Oh, Jesus. Do I need to send you lots and lots of English literature?
I don't do English. I barely speak it.
Read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Because I haven't. I just know this shit.
I've seen. I've not read it.
No.
I did.
Listen to me.
I tried to read it. I had it.
I haven't read it. I know fuck all about it. I just know that's a really cool quote.
I've read some of it.
Go, yes.
Yeah, I've read some of it. Something happened. I can't remember what happened to the book. I lost the book in some shape, form, or way. I've seen the original series a few times. I watched the movie reboot thing maybe once. But yeah, but a friend of mine bought his house for no other reason than it was number 42.
Right.
Because he was such a fan.
Well, the thing you need to know about all that, right, I know fuck all about it. Most people born after about 2000 know fuck all about it, but they're all pretending they do because they've all heard the quotes. So,
Yeah, but 42, the answer to life, love, death,
oh,
universe, and everything.
no, I know that's 42.
But it's
Very
42
fun.
because
Big,
it's a computer programming thing.
wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
I knew that, but then they made a thing about it in The Big Bang Theory, and I got confused.
yeah, no, it's a computer programming thing. I'm not that up on my computer programming, but brackets 42 you can use kind of to replace anything that you need replace, so you don't have to write it all out again or something. So it's quicker. So what does 42 mean? Well, it means everything. It depends. Once you it can mean anything you want it to mean once you assign it, and then you just keep using 42. So it's everything. So
legs so it doesn't cramp.
Yeah. So Hudson Hawk is incredibly underrated, and there's this backup from me. What's overrated? What's everybody fangirling and fanboying about right now, and you just don't get it?
You're gonna kill my reach. What's overrated? Absolutely fucking anything related to reality TV. I don't give a shit.
Everybody agrees with that, right?
Oh shit! Sorry. I flipped my phone over.
Back.
Let's see what else is overrated. What else? America. America is overrated. You know why America is overrated? Because I know about the fucking place. I spent time in the fucking place. I'm married to a man that grew up there. The streets are not paved with gold, people. There is no such thing as an American dream. They're worse off than we are. There are people in America working 3 jobs just to sleep the night in their passenger seat in their car with the thing rolled back. Because over there, you know how we need a rent deposit, right? Well, they need, was it first, last, and rent, which means that they need $3,000 before they can even step through the door. I can't tell you how many American people are living hand to mouth because they can't actually put a deposit down on somewhere to live. It's particularly prominent on the West Coast, massively prominent, and I've been out there a few times because obviously family, and Seattle is one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen if you keep your eyes above.
Yeah.
Look down, you could be in some of the poorest areas of Africa.
Yeah, I used to. Do you remember not just live streaming, but life streaming? I don't know if anybody really does it anymore.
I don't know.
People would either just basically be like on cam pretty much 24/7. You know, they take GoPros out with them on a bike ride or anywhere it's allowed.
I'm just reaching back tap water. Sorry. I don't know where it comes from, but anyway, it's Caribbean tap water, right?
Oh yeah, sure it is.
Yeah,
and there was a guy, and it was like, so he'd take these bike rides. I forget exactly what part of sort of LA-ish he was, but he'd take these bike rides with his GoPro around, and it's like this is why I love the internet, because that's not what it looks like in the movies. It's like that doesn't look much different to just round the corner from me by all accounts.
Actually, do you know what? If there's one thing, and we will go back to talking after this, absolutely, but if there's one thing I would ask people to do, it is to look up the documentary on YouTube, Seattle is Dying. Please look that up, because that's where my Matthew came from, and that's where he spent nearly 2 years living on the streets. So if you people could watch that and see what is going on in that beautiful city, I'd appreciate that. Anyway, let's carry on.
Let's all do that. So America is overrated. I'll stick my neck out. I'll stick my neck out. I'll stick my neck out, and I'll tell you,
far away.
John Wick.
Far away. Join this.
John Wick is also overrated.
I actually haven't.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's overrated.
I haven't seen it. The only thing I can tell you is that this dude here, this passed out dude, he actually really likes it, and I think it's the escapism.
Exactly. It is not bad by no means.
All I'm getting is Die Hard vibes.
Yeah, there are four of the damn things, and I've enjoyed them all. That doesn't mean it's not overrated. It's like I think it's maybe a generational thing, because there's all this hype for a very straightforward action movie. So I like an action movie. Child of the 80s, grew up in the 90s. Of course, I like action movies. But that's why I'm watching.
Like me, right?
But that's why I'm watching this thing like it's the greatest thing ever made.
Yeah.
As if Die Hard or Tango and Cash or Commando or anything doesn't exist. As if this is the first. Like, I understand if this is your first action movie you've ever watched. If this is the first time you've ever watched a guy run around pointing a gun at people and they fall down, I assume.
I'm guessing they've never seen Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And
it's
look,
like
I know the problems with India. I know the problems. I really do. I went to the cinema in 2000 for the one where he somehow survives a nuclear blast in the fridge. But you take my point, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, make it believable. Why are we here? Or at least semi-believable. Do you know what I really miss about the 90s? The late 90s. Those were the years of the apocalyptic movies.
Yeah, because Y2K.
Well, yes. And obviously, like, the Millennium Bug, anyway. But, 25 years before that, it was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre and...
50 years fucking old, that movie.
It's older than that. It's got to be older than that, because we're 45, dude. It's got to be older than that.
1974. October the 2nd. Yeah, that's why I do this. No, not this, but that's why I do the posts.
Oh.
I think it's October the 2nd. I have to go back and check my own post, but October.
Right.
Early October 1974. So.
Shit, really?
Yeah. The original, anyway. There's been various iterations since, but.
But you take my point, right? Like,
totally.
The whole thing with the Y2K movies, it was all Millennium Doom. I loved those movies. Every last goddamn fucking one of them. Because that point in... Alright, I'm going to entirely... Look, I'm a girl. At that point in my time, I was being asked out, dates, stuff like that. And I wasn't ever non-reciprocal in offers or anything, but if someone bought tickets for me at the cinema, I was perfectly happy to shout them, the popcorn and the Coke. So for that reason, for about 3 years, I saw every movie going. I'm sorry if that makes me a dick, but I mean, it doesn't, because it was what it was. But yeah, I just don't want people to think I'm an asshole because it was very many different guys. But anyway, I saw all those movies. I saw Armageddon, Deep Impact, 2012. Oh geez, what else am I thinking of?
I love John Cusack, but not his finest hour.
Gross Point Blank. I'm sorry, that was not his finest hour. The best thing he said in that movie was he didn't know his cat's gender because he respected its privacy. That was his best line in that movie. The best movie he's ever been in, and notice I said been in, Con Air.
Con Air's great. Con Air, I'm a sucker for High Fidelity.
I actually don't think I've seen High Fidelity.
It's
I do like Cusack, but I just lighten up, dude. You're the only one taking yourself that seriously.
Yeah, does he though? I mean, I know it feels like he does. He gets those characters, but then again, the guy was also best friends with Joe Strummer, so
Well,
he
yeah, fair.
must have had
In all
something
fairness, it
going for him.
might be that is the character that he plays, and that actually might be me,
Yeah.
believing into his acting that much. I
So
don't know.
if we put the like apocalyptic and the action movie vibes together, then the undisputed heavyweight king of the action movie, Mr. Schwarzenegger. So you must have seen End of Days at some point then.
I've seen all of them.
I know people like, oh, there's the classics, there's the obvious, there's Predator, there's Total Recall, of course, Conan.
I can't
I have a little soft
watch
spot for
Terminator 2 anymore. I actually can't. There's a reason for that. All right, okay.
We need to know.
I'm sorry, followers. I'm sorry, but please just actually listen to what I'm saying before you cut my ass off. The reason I can't watch it is because when I first saw it, I was 13 years old. And Edward Furlong at that point was the most amazing, beautiful person I'd ever seen in my life. And I was marrying him when I grew up. Well, now, as a 45-year-old woman, I'm seeing a little boy the age of my son, and it makes me want to puke. Because back in the day, I'm not kidding. He was like,
oh, you're not.
He was like, oh my god, this is my dream man.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not the only one.
And honestly, I look back now and I'm like, I haven't got a clue what he looks like now, and I wish him well, but Jesus, holy fucking Christ. When I look at Terminator 2 now and I think that is the man that I was spending time alone with in my head, he's a child. And I feel shit for the fact that, oh my god, he's a child. Yeah.
You know, I was kind of, I guess I was a bit sort of late to the party with sort of like celebrity crushes. Or to be honest, really being that bothered.
So honest tonight. Come on, you give me something. I told you everything. I mean, I'll tell you even more. I don't care, but
I still, when other friends started getting interested in girls and stuff, I still wanted to play. I mean, I still have toys and I still like to play. But I still kind of just wanted to play. I wanted to hang out with my friends. And then you get a bit older, and there's your teenagers, and it's like, whatever we're doing, wherever we're going, and I want to hang out with my friends, and I want to talk about X-Files, and I want to talk about the Batman animated series.
Mulder and Scully.
Exactly, yeah. Because I still want David Duchovny's babies. If he's up for it, I'm game.
Well, you have his, and I'll have Jillian's.
Now, there's a fucking, a crush that I have. David Duchovny. I don't mind.
I'm with you on that. He's tidy. We like David Duchovny.
I get why everybody likes Scully, but that I actually kind of, to this day, sort of crush on David Duchovny. I think he's a phenomenally, ridiculously charismatic actor. He's very small.
He's the believer. Scully's the skeptic. Yeah. Fox gets it.
I mean, that's where the Fox comes from, actually. And that's why there's two X's. There's the Fox for Fox and a second X for the X-Files.
I'm not gonna ask for any additional details, but is Fox a pseudonym? Yeah. Right, darling, that's okay. I was just curious because it's an awesome pseudonym, and it also reminds me of the first song I ever learned in my life, but I'm not drunk enough to tell you.
It's for two reasons. Full disclosure, it's for two reasons. Fox for Fox Mulder. It's double X with the second X, in fact, for X-Files. So it looks kind of cool.
We are so on the same page. Why were we not in the same school? I'd have been your best friend, seriously.
And the last incarnation of my attempts at being a rock star, we called the band Mad Foxes, and sort of Ramones-esque. Oh dear. Does this work? Out, we're back. Hey,
yeah.
there you go.
It actually might be that I'm using my B.
Yeah, we should probably wrap this up.
Do you want to though?
But yeah, no. So the last and pretty successful band that I was in was Mad Foxes, and in a silly sort of Ramonesy kind of a way, I thought I'm going to be. Why don't we all be Johnny Fox, David Fox, Paul Fox, whatever, the Mad Foxes? But it really only kind of stuck. People started calling it me, which was good because I made it. I kind of willed it into being.
I've been calling you
just sort of
Johnny Fox because I got nothing else to call you, but I actually really like it.
Yeah, it's just sort of stuck. I kind of am that person now.
I actually,
and I don't mind.
I am okay if that's a pseudonym. I wanted to tell you that I think it's bloody awesome.
Yeah, I am that guy. There's also Johnny the Fox is a great Thin Lizzy tune, so that's cool. I can kind of use that for a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think we probably should wrap it up. I am neglecting a few chores I should do in order to do this instead. So we really should wrap it up. Have I got anything else that I really, really, really want to say? No, really.
Seriously, have I done your fucking head in?
No.
Or are we just
not at all? This is look. If anybody's new, this is just what happens anyway. Like the first 10 minutes are like, so tell me about your band. How did you come up with the name? How long have you been together? When's the next album out? Right now, all that shit's out the way. Have you ever seen a ghost?
What I'm saying is, if you want a rematch,
I have future plans where I'm hoping to referee between two guests.
Can I say, by the way, I actually feel like we did make friends tonight.
So, yes.
Well,
what was I saying?
Ignore the fact that Claire said that, because it's really fucking awkward, because Johnny thinks she's a cunt.
Okay. So, I will, yes, I will keep in touch. We will do this. Yes, the first 10 minutes are usually legit, and then it goes like this anyway. So, the two questions that I always ask in there somewhere: have you ever seen a ghost?
Yes.
Let's just do that.
I've seen many ghosts. What would you like? Most recent, most emphatic, most relevant. I don't know. Pick a topic.
Yeah. What had the most lasting impact on you for whatever reason, whether it was fear or curiosity, interest, or just amazing?
Look, I'm gonna get shit for this, and I don't care. But the last one that really deeply impacted me was my great-grandfather.
Wow.
Bobby McGuire, or Robbie McGuire, however he wants us to think of him, because the man was an Orangeman, and I know that is controversial. I know that. I know, I'm aware of all sides of that argument, so don't come at me, people, okay? But he died in the early 1960s, and last night when I was looking for something to gift my father for his birthday, my great-grandfather was stood at the end of my bed, and he told me what to give him, and that's what I've done. So that's the last time I saw a ghost, and I've seen many ghosts in my time, but that's the most recent. Look, at the end of the day, I have borderline personality disorder. I'm bipolar type 2. I'm batshit fucking cuckoo. It's fine. I don't care what people think about that, but I love my people. I love my family. And it was my granddad. It was.
Yes, I have had no such pleasure, but I've heard way too many stories from people that I will trust implicitly, and especially when they can look me in the eyes and say it the way they say it. And also, my own nephew, when he was very young and very ill and very close to his granddad, and his granddad sat at his hospital bedside and held his hand and told him he was going to get through it, which he did. And he's got no reason, to tell silly stories like that if it didn't happen.
Children, before they are taught not to believe, see everything.
Yeah. And there's a lot to see.
And you shouldn't teach a child not to see, and I've tried very hard not to do that with mine and everything my kids say to me.
Yeah. I see a very specific type of shit that unsettles people when I talk about it, so I don't know if I should. And I did say we'd try and wrap this up, so maybe we'll save it for another day.
I'm sorry, Johnny. If ever you would like to talk off camera.
It's fine. Yeah, maybe we will. It doesn't, it's one of those things. I've been doing it as long as I can remember, so they don't scare me at all. It's other people trying to imagine it happening to them that are like, holy shit, or maybe you should see someone about that, like professional. And I'm like, it's normal. I'm okay with it.
No. Don't take it to a professional. All they want to do is wipe it out.
Well, that would be my opinion, but I don't know if that's just me being, me
No,
punk rock rebel.
my opinion, but honey, if you need to go, that's fine. But if you ever want to talk to a hereditary witch, just hit me up, okay?
But what we will do, we're going to leave it here, kids. This has always been my problem. I couldn't work out for the longest time. This is technically something like episode 40 something, 44, 45, something like that. But I've sussed it. I've sussed it with just within the last few episodes. I've sussed it. So you're right in on the ground floor with this, right? This is how we end these things now.
Have you said what fresh hell is this?
Nope, but I will. This is Claire. She runs a page called "What Fresh Hell Is This?" Easy to find, easy to use, easy to clean. Go check it out. Go find it. You'll laugh, you'll cry. It'll change your life. What fresh hell is this? Check it out, kids.
Funny, we need a part 2.
And all the links, I'll post all relevant links and stuff somewhere, as well as I always do. But we're going to end, as from here on in, we will always end, if my lovely, amazing guest can just, if you could say this for me, and we'll go. And you can do it however, it's completely on you how you want to do this. You can just do it straight. You can do it comedic. If you have a celebrity impersonation you want to lay on me, if you want,
Johnny lay it out.
Yeah, if you want to do it erotically, whatever, just go with it, right? If you could just say for me, if you could just look right in that camera and you could say for me, till next time, keep it foxy, and we'll call it a night.
Till next time, keep it foxy.
Thank you very much indeed.
We'll call it a night.
With that, as the sun sets slowly in the west, we'll bid you a fond farewell.
Night, Johnny.
Good night.